with the coaches and owners and general managers all getting ready for the NFL Combine at the end of the week, we finally got some confirmation and some emphasis as far as how the 2019 Miami Dolphins are going to look. Now, I paid a lot more closer attention to Chris Grier because he seemed a little bit more direct. Most importantly, the whole situation about the Miami Dolphins tanking in 2019. Y'all have no idea. I was like, yo, if we end up tanking, I might have to root for the Jacksonville Jaguars or Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was gonna sit out being a Miami Dolphins fan for 2019 if that was gonna be the case. But I'm just gonna put it in a way where everybody gets to understand. The Miami Dolphins are literally gonna try to be competitive. They're gonna try to put the best product they could possibly put on the field. Like, you have no clue how I was feeling. I was like distraught about that. I was like, yo, we playing the NFC East. We're gonna be playing the Eagles. We're gonna be playing the Cowboys. This is the year the Miami Dolphins need to be competitive because we got to get bragging rights over these fools. So, like, at least we have some confirmation about that as far as the Miami Dolphins want to be competitive and put the best product they possibly can on the field. Sorry, Mark Jefferson and all those who wanted us to sit back and tank for Tua Tagovailoa, but hey, I am relieved right now. Like I said from the jump, I strongly felt like our roster was competitive enough where we did not have to rebuild. Stephen Ross, when Adam Gase ended up being fired, he didn't exactly clarify exactly what it was going to be. All I heard was rebuild. We're going to do it the right way. That's all I heard. And I'm sitting here scratching my head. I was confused. I was like, yo, like, rebuild? What you mean rebuild? We got a roster. This roster's competitive. We have some talent. Like, what do we talk about here? But I'm glad we got some emphasis on that whole situation. But again, like, I was listening to Brian Flores and Chris Grier speak. Like, they're just trying to build a roster for longevity. Like, Brian Flores said it specifically. He wants to build a roster for right now and down the road with longevity. So, like, I really don't get what that means. I thought that was the whole objective in the first place, was to build a roster for longevity. But hey, that's how he ended up putting it. But a couple of players I wanted to go over real fast that Chris Grier covered in Brian Flores was Juwan James. I preached this in the offseason preview video. I thought that he is the number one priority going into free agency before we even look at any prospects whatsoever in this upcoming draft. Juwan James should be a priority. Like, we need to keep these outer tackles intact. Laramie Tunsil, Juwan James, those are great foundations for us to build up an excellent offensive line. Honestly, that's what Brian Flores said. He wants to build the team starting from the trenches, defensive line and offensive line. So if you let Juwan James walk, you basically going against what you told us, the people. You're going against that. Looking at Xavier Howard, Chris Grier also touched on Xavier Howard as far as like they want to keep him because there was trade rumors going around about Xavier Howard may possibly not be a Miami Dolphin, considering the amount that he's demanding to be the top paid corner. You already know my opinion about that. I honestly think if he's not consistent this year as far as playing and as far as injuries, because over the past couple of seasons he hasn't exactly been durable, and I've seen plays where he's been kind of iffy as far as if he deserves top dog money. But I really think that if it ends up coming down to it, I think we should just end up tagging him at the end of this season, and let's go ahead and see what he can do under the tag, and then I'll probably make my decision at that point what I want to do with Xavier Howard. A couple other things that I wanted to cover. Like, every single time that Ryan Tannehill ends up coming up between Chris Grier or Brian Flores, let's get the same answer. We're just evaluating the roster right now. We're just evaluating the roster, which it's just writing on the wall right there. Like, they're just trying to figure out a way to get rid of him, to be quite honest with you. I thought he was gonna make it. Because I thought he was gonna be gone already. Like, it's about to be March. It's gonna be March on Friday. So he stayed a lot longer than I thought. So they really seriously putting some serious thought if they want to keep Ryan Tannehill or not, or they just trying to work out the kinks as far as who's going to be the best possible trade partner. Also, I want to sit back and cover the Philadelphia Eagles this week. They did not place the tag on Nick Foles, so that could possibly mean that another team that's picking ahead of the Miami Dolphins in the NFL draft could possibly address a need at the quarterback position in free agency to increase our chances of getting a Dwayne Haskins or getting us a Kyler Murray. But time will tell. Miami Dolphins may end up getting him. You already know how I feel about Nick Foles as far as him coming to the Miami Dolphins. I'm not exactly a fan. I've seen what he's done in other organizations. I'm not impressed. I think he needs pieces around him, along with most quarterbacks in the league that need to be successful. So with that being said, if we're going to bring in a Nick Foles, it's basically not that much of a improvement over Ryan Tannehill if he needs those things to be successful. I don't see the reason why we would go out and spend a $17 million on a Nick Foles when you have a $17 million quarterback already in Ryan Tannehill. Another thing I wanted to touch on was, I know we keep on going back and forth about Adam Gase, and Stephen Ross and Chris Greer. To be quite honest with you, man, when I heard those words from Chris Greer where he was like, "Yo, we're trying to build the roster the right way, and we're not, trying to tank," because like literally, going back to the whole tanking situation, you're basically wasting time here. You're wasting time. You look at players like Laramie Tunsil, Xavier Howard, Kenyon Drake, all these younger players on the team that are great talent, are literally great talent. You really tell me that you're going to sit back and trying to force yourself to end up losing games in 2019 when you know those contracts are going to be up within the next couple of years? Like, I don't agree with the whole tanking situation. Rebuilding, I wouldn't exactly use that word. Retool maybe, but not rebuilding. But that's the words that they use. But back to Adam Gase real fast. When Stephen Ross had his press conference about Adam Gase and him were on the same page as far as moving forward, how they wanted to start over and rebuild, and they weren't on the same page about it. That's why Adam Gase ended up walking. Kind of like, I'm confused right now about that because of the fact of what Chris Greer just told us. So what exactly in particular was the reason why he ended up leaving? Because if you're telling me that we're going to start over and rebuild, maybe it's a little too early for us to tell this right now because they haven't exactly cut anybody yet or traded anybody. But this whole thing about Chris Greer actually confirming the fact that we're not taking kind of puts a brand new perspective as far as how I will want to approach the 2019 season. Also, last but not least, I just wanted to cover the New York Jets may possibly end up giving up that 3rd round pick. But I don't know exactly how that would end up sitting. Well, if the Miami Dolphins ended up trading up to get that pick, because, Stephen Ross, Adam Gase, which gets me thinking, man, like, how would that even go as far as if they really, like, approached each other at the combine? Like, it'd be kind of like you going out with a brand new girl that you broke up with your ex, like, "Hey, Adam, how you doing? You know Brian, he's our new head coach." Like, that just be so awkward. But I'm just thinking about that. That's really weird. That's really weird. But yeah, a lot of stuff we covered today. But let me know what you guys think. You know what it is. If you enjoy the content, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. This is GreatOne DeVore. I'm up out of here.